that his readiness to change and build on what is lacking.
Yes.
So
that is what is being honest.
That's what is a fair word.
Yes.
It encompasses everything.
Yes,
but the readiness part is
very important.
also
very important.
correct.
Now, so many things. The main focused, I think, right now is how to fill the gaps. And I can sense, as far as ma'am's opinions about these gaps are concerned. So I can see that all these intangible things like ethics, honesty, sanskar, etc. are coming up. And I can realize that these are actually the things which we hardly focus when we teach our students. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Number one. Number two, my question to you is that if you are already saying that we are teaching this business ethics, I can say that as a teacher I teach my students CPD, this and that. Still, result is not that effective as per expectations. Do you think that there should be some pedagogy to teach this? I mean to say, some teaching techniques. Or do you think that we should train our teachers as head? Do you think that you should orient your faculty members or students? Same question will go to Baraiya sir also, but I would first like to know your opinion about that.
Rightly, Madam and Baraiya sir also said, she used the word ingredients. He used the word like ethics or honesty is not available in the market, in the shop.
Yeah.
It is from inside.
Yes.
If there is a room which is only a single door, but there is no handle outside, we are standing outside of the room, we want to open this room, and the door opens from inside out.
Yeah.
And there is no handle to pull the door, then how you will open this door? There is no way out. The single way is you should push the door from inside out. So it is from the inside out. Like, honesty cannot be stored, it cannot be sold, it cannot be commercialized. It is the thing which comes from the inside out. Once the faculty member will initially from inside, he or she will think to teach the honesty. It is a long-term process. It cannot be taught in a single lecture. But by the time the students is with the faculty for 2 long years, by his own virtues, by his own etiquettes and manners and his transactions and the transparency he gives between the students and teachers, by his own actions he can realize the student like I should be like this. So I would like to be like
role
him.
model.
Yes, he need to be the role model. He needs to improve himself. He need to be honest, be ethical for himself. Then by looking him at the faculties and the teachers, the students learn most of the things.
But don't you think that while giving so much importance to, I might sound a bit sarcastic, but don't you think that giving so much importance to all these things, we will marginalize the main thing, that is teaching portion?
Efficiency. I have always mentioned honesty and efficiency.
That's true.
Efficiency
but I think
important.
it's becoming more challenging for person like Talati sir, for person like Baraiya sir. Both are heading the department. Sir is also doing so many things. So my question is to all of you, that when we give so much importance to sanskar, honesty, ethics, and they have to be there. I fully
have
agree.
not mentioned sanskar. I have mentioned only
that
honesty
is what I
and
have mentioned.
efficiency.
That is what I have mentioned. Collectively, all these are sanskars.
Yeah.
So while giving all these things too, and they have to be there, I fully agree. But how will we balance?
Can I mention about efficiency
please.
again? Another
Please.
analysis and
Please.
survey.
And then I'll go to Baraiya sir.
It is said that in Germany, labor cost is very high.
Okay.
It is said that because now China has higher labor cost, it is said that in India the labor cost is very low. There is one organization which did survey about the labor cost in India, actual labor cost. The efficiency of every employee, top to bottom. See, don't divert it in sanskar. Don't take it. When I'm mentioning, it is very professional I'm mentioning.
Okay.
When I'm mentioning sanskar, I'm not mentioning personal sanskar.
Yes.
When I'm mentioning sanskar, it is organizational behavior.
Yes.
From beginning to now, I have not mentioned anything on personal ground.
Yes.
It is only industry and career.
Yes.
So there was one chamber of commerce who did analysis what is actual labor cost of India, the efficiency is so low that it came out to be 110% of Germany.
Oh my God.
How do you compete? See, the matters which I have raised today, they are not personal. They are very industrial, and I challenge, implement it, we will be superpower.
Correct.
And IQ level of our India
Very
is
high.
very high.
Very high. IQ is very high. We have to work on efficiency. When I talk about honesty, that is to increase efficiency, to improve accuracy in your professional career. For me, maybe you are taking it, no personal. Your professional career should be efficient and honest. You will be able to do more justice to your profession, which will influence your industry.
Now, putting all these questions as core questions, or I should say that, as ma'am rightly said, that another question is so interconnected and it is so related, and the question is, what does an industry demand? We have already known from ma'am what does actually industry demand, honesty, this and that. But in order to add something more, I have put one more question. Do we really prepare our students to meet these demands? This is the question for us, that do we really prepare our students to meet these demands? And another question is, do any gaps remain here in the sense that, okay, we knew from person like Soneji ma'am, we knew that these are the demands, okay, and we will also accordingly work. But while working, when the process is on, do you think that still something is lacking? Now this answers can be personals.
Right.
Correct.
May I just
Please,
begin
you
this
and then
discussion?
we'll go to
Right. The question is, are we doing enough? I believe that the question should be put in: are we producing enough competent people? Are we building enough? We are putting our endeavor to produce graduates who would go to the campus, who would go to the organizations, find a good placement, build their life, build their careers, and they will earn money. But my personal experience as a training and placement officer, I'm looking after my placement and training activity since a decade at my government engineering college. I have experienced that we do have people with potentials. We do have people who can actually graduate to that level of success. And I have seen so many glittering examples who started with a very low key kind of profile, and they've gone on to build a very big name for themselves, for their families, and ultimately for our own organizations. The problem which I see here is that industries do have requirement. There is a myth going on that there are not enough opportunities.
correct.
Opportunities are very much there.
Yeah.
But we are not able to change the psyche as to the students will demand that I want to have a very good life. I have gotten admission in an engineering college. I am doing it from one self-finance institutes who's going to charge me some money. When I graduate, I should find a job for 40,000. My starting should be 25,000, 30,000, 40,000. They do begin like that with these hopes. Ultimately, at the end of their curriculum, they are not competent enough to find such jobs, and their dreams are shattered. There are people who start with modest kind of projections about themselves. They go on building their profile, they go on building their competence, and ultimately end up going higher up than this. I have experienced that companies coming to the campus are expecting huge number of the people who would fit into their requirements. They expect that they'll hire 20-25 people from an organization, but they end up finding only 2 or 3.
Yes.
Oh my
So the problem is that, are we producing enough people? We are producing people. Campus is producing people who could fit into the industrial requirements. But the challenge is to produce that, to raise that. to raise that number from 2, 3 to 10, 12. And let's be realistic. Let's go gradually about it. And if we can do something which can add on to these numbers for a period of time, sustain it for a while, and then go on building it. So this is what I would like to.
To you, that the myths, as you rightly said, that there is no demand or engineering is not giving much scopes to the students, is a myth. It is nothing like
It is
that.
definitely,
It is
sir.
nothing like
I
that.
would like to
Please.
add one graph, sir.
Please.
That I have analyzed from last since week, right? That is 84.3% job are already in the India, right? And we are telling that there is no job for engineers. There are so many jobs, but remember one thing: the jobs are for not ordinary engineers. It is for quality engineers.
I would request the cameraman to show the graph. I think sir will be able to explain that graph well.
It is
Please
employment
explain.
growth. It is employment growth of the engineering, right? So as we see that nowadays government is also giving the contract to the private companies, right? So these are the days that private companies are more giving the jobs to the engineering students. So right, so this is truly saying that there is no any myth that there is no vacancy in the industries. There are so many vacancies in the industry, but the thing is the corporate people are only selecting the quality people. They are not selecting the normal or ordinary engineers. And I would like to add one example also. As a say for example, there is an electrical engineer, right? And there is a fan having a capacitor, right? So whenever the capacitor is down, the fan speed is slowing down, right? So an engineer must know how capacitor will be increasing the speed.
Yes.
Father is knowing that by replacing the capacitor, the fan speed will be increasing. But an electrical engineer must know how it is
So
increasing.
technical student is different from a layman.
Yeah, definitely.
It is a common man.
If you are say for example, is there anything in your house, say for example your electrician is coming over there, right, and you are saying that repair these much things, and when he will ask you, say for wait for 5 minutes, I will see in the books and what is the problem, I will find out, and then will I replace. Simply you are
Correct.
what will you do? Simply you are making him outside, and you ask for the another electrician.
You are right. Now, my question to you is little different. We have already known from you that which are the things which industry demand, but still on behalf of GTU, I would like to ask you that which are actually the things which you actually want from our students when they really come to the industry. What are the soft skills? As I rightly said, the importance of projects and practicals we all have been doing in these colleges, but still we can see there is a less link between all these activities done in the college. When the students go to the corporate, they can't utilize it. What are your suggestions to students, how they can make use of all these skills which they are learning in college?
Like as we are discussing that the students, they come to institution for placements, not for learning.
Yeah.
The corporates, they want learned students.
Yeah.
That means they don't want just a learned student, they want excellent student. So student who's in demand must excel. Now the first class, second class is not, he has to excel in his knowledge, because Indian demography makes it more competitive.
Correct.
So the supply is much more than demand.
Yeah.
Demand of quality. When
Yes.
I say
Yeah.
demand of quality, so they have to excel. When can they excel? It is hard work.
Yes,
It
correct,
is their own willpower, and it is their own motivation from the institution.
Very true.
And the infrastructure of the institution, because somehow what happens that when we meet and interview the student, the machineries which we have are much advanced than the machineries knowledge which the student has. That means maybe it is semi-skilled, skilled or no skill job. But everywhere we are ahead of the institution where the student must get training from us if he wants to be utilized by an institution. And here I would say that when Excel, it is like innovation. Innovation will make engineers more stronger. Innovation, any innovative quality of an engineer or any technical education will make it more, he will be demanded, he or she will be demanded more. For example, there was an engineer who joined a tractor company for training. I'll give you an example. What kind of engineers are demanded? So, see, I am discussing not in a profi language of syllabus. I am discussing the logical requirement. When he worked with that truck manufacturer for 2 months for training, they were fitting one part beneath. And in that, they were required 8 laborers. He very rightly said that engineer's job is not to do the work. Engineer's job is to improve the work. So he had some idea where he gave a presentation to the managing director where he had a technique where they required only 2 laborers to fit that ball bearings. Don't we like such engineers?
We do.
Such engineers will never be jobless. Such engineers will not be paid less because they made the manufacturer enriched by technology. That is what is the job. I think Professor Baraiya, he mentioned that one. The engineer's job is to make it more easier and to more improvise more. Engineer's job is not to do and fit.
Simple.
Engineer's job is to improvise. And engineer's job is to make it more smoother and more cost effective. Very important is cost effective. When I mentioned about innovation, I was talking to someone in Europe, and India did not have rain at that time, and there was a drought. So he said that, why don't you import some machines for artificial rain? I said, okay, what will be the raw material required? Because I am a very environment friendly person. So I did not want those chemicals for this rain. And the raw material required for that artificial rain